From the land grant University in Urbana-Champaign, Illinois, this is the closing market report. It is the 25th day of August, 2025. I'm Extension's Todd Gleason on the Farm Progress Show site today, setting up for the big show that starts tomorrow. We hope you'll come visit us here at the U of I tent. When you come in the main gate, turn to the right. You cannot miss, about a block away, the great big College of Aces banner in orange. We'll be right inside the tent as soon as you enter it. Coming up during today's program, we'll talk about the commodity markets with Curt Kimmel of agmarket.net. Travis Burke from U of I Extension will take us on a quick tour of what's happening in the University of Illinois tent Farm Progress Show. And we'll catch up with Mark Russo. He is at Everstream Analytics. We'll talk with him about the weather, of course, on this Monday edition of the Closing Market Report from Illinois Public Media. It is public radio for the farming world, online on demand at WILLAG.org.
Todd Gleason services are made available to WILL by University of Illinois Extension.
December corn for the day at $4.12 1/4. It finished 3/4 cent higher. The March at $4.29 3/4 up 1. November beans at $10.47 3/4. Down 10 3/4. The January 10.67 3/4, 9 1/4 cents lower. Bean meal down $1 for the day. Bean oil 53 cents lower. And the wheat futures soft red in the December up 2 1/2. It finished at $5.29 3/4 cent a bushel. The hard red in the December at $5.20 3/4, 1/4 cent lower. Live cattle futures in Chicago $1 and a nickel lower at $236.80 2 1/2. The feeder cattle $360.75 down $1.75, and the lean hogs at $91.40 up 20 cents. The crude oil for the day at $64.89, $1.22 higher. Diesel fuel or heating oil about 3 9/10 higher at $2.34 3/10 cent per gallon. And the RBOB at $1.99 1/2 is around 1/100 cent lower, so just about unchanged at this hour. We're now joined by Curt Kimmel. He's at agmarket.net out of Normal, Illinois, to discuss the marketplace. Hello, Curt. Thanks for being with us, and thanks for coming out to the Farm Progress Show with us this week, too.
Oh, boy, looking forward to it. I can't believe it's that time of year again, so looking forward to meeting some listeners, be at your booth there, but Ag Market will have a booth in the big long tent there in the center aisle somewhere. I got to figure that out when I get there, but we'll be there with a display Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday also.
Yeah, so the Varied Industries tent, I'm sure, is where you will be, and that is right next to us, relatively speaking. So when people come in the main gate, they'll turn to the right and see a great big orange banner on the end of one of the tents that says College of Aces. The Varied Industries tents are kind of across the street. They're just closer to the main gate than we are, but not much. We're only a block and a half or a block or so down from the main gate. So it should be easy to find you at the agmarket.net booth, and me too here in the U of I tent. What it might be harder to find is higher prices for soybeans, at least today. What happened in Chicago?
We were firm in the evening trade. Those Novies traded 61 3/4, but we're kind of at the upper end of the trading range there. If you look at our price chart, just kind of ran out of momentum. When you look at the supply-demand balance, you can keep a 53, 54 bushel yield in there. That keeps supply somewhat doable, but I guess the main talk over the weekend was that China was mentioning or saying the word protectionism, and that kind of threatens the agriculture trade side of the equation there. So just a little bit more uncertainty with China. China normally buys about 15% of the beans here by Labor Day, new crop beans that is, and man, there's just nothing happening on the bean export side of the equation. Now, whether they're buying under the radar, we'll find out, but as of right now, the bean demand's questionable, so we saw some spread unwinding here. Producers seemed comfortable with the bean yields, uncomfortable with the corn yields, so we saw buying corn, selling beans, buying wheat, selling beans most of the day. Commodity funds sold about 2,300 contracts of beans, bought 6,100 contracts of corn, and about 2,300 contracts of wheat going into 11 o'clock there, Todd.
You know, it was good to see you last Thursday at Riggs Beer Company there in Urbana, where we recorded Commodity Week. Riggs Beer, by the way, is available here on site, just for those who are interested. It's in the we're in the beer garden. You'll have to figure out where that is, but you can pick it up. And they have those cool Farm Progress Show cans. A commemorative, though I don't know how long the can will stay full, but you can pick those up. What I was trying to get at, though, was that the three of you were talking about the fall basis, what might happen with it, what farmers should be thinking about, and how really they should approach soybean sales and corn sales. What's that discussion about, and what are you telling producers this week?
Yeah, that's the key here, trying to line up where the grain's going to go this fall, whether it's on-farm storage, off-farm storage. The main concern off-farm storage at the elevator particularly, there's concern that the basis could widen out. So if you're in an area or situation where you can kind of lock in a tight basis or price the grain and do some type of reownership and save on storage and shrink, and try to capture, 20, 25 cents improvement here as we move into the year end is probably the key strategy. On-farm storage, actually, if you look out the deferred contracts, the July corn at $4.50 and those deferred beans at 11, particularly new crop beans, 26 beans, $11 area or so. Might not be a bad idea to kind of place a hedge and wait for the market to see the basis cash market kind of firm up. But yeah, it's going to be a challenge here. We'll see how fast the crop comes to town for the most part. Most are already prepared by looking at some flat storage or baggers or some different alternatives. But the main thing is I think we'll have a fall low in through here. The commercial probably signaling that there's downside on that, but I think they want the market to go down so they could be a buyer. So there's a lot of things to watch here as we go into this fall, Todd.
After the Pro Farmer Crop Tour, I'm wondering if you've heard from producers about southern rust and how much of an issue they think it is in their particular fields, and does that vary from state to state from what you've been hearing from them?
Yeah, it varies quite a bit. Of course, the most of the video or pictures are more interesting is in Iowa, where you go out in the field and come out orange. So it seems to be a lot thicker in Iowa. We're starting to hear more reports here in the eastern belt. Most agronomists say they've seen it before, but not this bad. And it's just kind of hard to get a handle on which direction we're going here. Some of the ones playing this kind of low says, well, there's only 1 to 10% yield loss, but others say, there could be quite a bit of yield loss. Also, too, the time of that fungicide spray, the application, is supposed to be around the blister stage is good till the dent. And they kind of feel that one spray help take the edge off. So I think we're getting an education on southern rust. It's been around, but not this evident, and it's been quite of a conversational piece here over the last 3 weeks.
Hey, thank you much. We'll talk with you again here at the Farm Progress Show, I think on Wednesday, correct?
You bet. We'll be there Wednesday. Looking forward to it, Todd.
And you'll be here all week, too. So you'll be, I think, in the Varied Industries tent, of course. That's near the U of I tent. Thanks much, Curt. Curt Kimmel is with agmarket.net. Well, I'm here at the University of Illinois tent in Decatur at the Farm Progress Show. It's coming up tomorrow. Travis Burke is here from U of I Extension. Thank you, Travis, for being with us. We really appreciate it. Well, it's busy here, isn't it?
Yes, it is busy. We're getting all set here, and lots of things to offer here at the ACES tent. We're very happy to be here. Big event, huge.
Well, let's take a little tour of the U of I ACES tent. Let's talk about what we can find as you come in. Of course, one of the first things you come across is just an introduction to University of Illinois Extension.
Sure.
You've been in Extension Services for, I think, all of your career. Tell me about this three-pronged approach, the land grant mission, and what Extension does, and how important it is for the agriculture and agribusiness side.
Okay, sure. Well, the land grant system, which got underway in 1914, is 3 arms, which brings together the teaching, research, and extension piece. They're all offered at the land grant institutions, in which U of I is one of the land grant for Illinois. And we do things to help people have a better quality of life. Now, in terms of the Farm Progress Show, this is really big for us because, of course, agriculture is one of the main drivers of revenue for this state. So this is a big part of what we do, the ag piece. So we feel that we really need to have a big presence.
We'll get to some of the things that have to do with other folks in just a bit, but tour with me here.
Sure.
Let's begin with the DIFM, which stands for Data Intensive Farm Management. This is part of the Ag Econ team, and it's all about science that producers can do on their own in their fields, and they can be paid by the U.S. government for doing those science experiments, but it's really about being able to use your planter or your combine and collecting data and setting up experiments just like Extension would.
Yes, and precision ag is just what it says. Farmers nowadays, particularly with the economy like it is right now, farmers have to really be precise, if you will, in all that they do, in their implements, in the equipment, in the new technologies, and trying to use that to help to foster some of their income. And out here at the farm show, there'll be lots of these precision ag pieces of equipment that farmers can use and learn more about so that they can be more effective and take it back to their farming operations.
Now, on that note, Sulla Issa will be here along with Dennis Bowman, and they deal a lot with digital agriculture, with drones, with safety in Sulla's case, and actually with Sulla thinking about how safety pertains to drones, what kinds of things. He, in fact, puts conferences together about this issue, what kinds of things really need to take place in drones, as it would have with tractors years and decades ago. For instance, the ROPS, or the rollover protection on the back end of a tractor that when you roll over keeps the cab from being smashed, those kinds of things. So this is part of digital agriculture as well, and the AI farms.
Yes. You know, ag has really come a long way in the new technologies, as you were mentioning, Todd, about rollover prevention in tractors, which was big tech back in the day 3 or 4 decades ago. But I tell you, now with our artificial intelligence and sustainable ag, and then combining that with digital ag and the technology with drones, and you know, these drones can do flyovers, they can do digital imagery, they can do seeding, they can do a lot of things for the certified crop advisors when they're trying to get data for the farming operations. This different technology can go in and get infrared shots of leaves, for example, in a cornfield, which would then generate data so that the farmers can do a better job of coming up with diseases and some of the other micronutrients that might be missing in the plants. So there's a lot, of things going on that in digital ag, AI farms, and a lot of this you can go right out to our research farms there on campus and see some of this in action.
There are a couple of things I think producers will be particularly interested in as they think about weed control, diseases and insects in their fields. Of course, I'll be hosting panel discussions. You can find out some things at 11 o'clock in the morning with the crop scientist, 11:30 with the ag economist on the stage here. But they're in the tent as well. For instance, Aaron Hager, weed scientist, will be right here in the tent, and I believe he'll probably be here all 3 days of this event. Mm-hmm. And weed control is a massive issue and becoming a really big problem across the whole of the Corn Belt.
Yes, I know, and that is an issue. Some of these invasive species and the weed pressure this year in particular, with all of the rains that we've had, the farmers have really had a heavy battle to try and do some things to offset some of the weed pressure. So Dr. Hager will be here, and we'll be here stationed here at the tent to talk more about some of the things that farmers can do as one of the cultural practices in dealing with that.
I think one of the bigger things, and on Tuesday, I think, is we'll have most of the leadership from across the campus will be here. The new director of Extension,
Correct.
Matthew Van, will be in. The new chancellor, Charles Isbell, will be here. The dean of the college, Herman Bolero, will be with us. That's going to be a big day. It's really important that they're here in the tent for people to find and see.
Sure. Yes, we've got lots of changes going on in Illinois Extension right now, lots of things that are out of our control, but then there's a lot of things that are new people, new faces. As you mentioned, Todd, with the Chancellor, our new Director of Extension, Dr. Van, coming, and the Dean, Herman Bolero, and then most of our people and some of our specialists, our Hort, local foods and small farm teams, our ag teams, the nutrient loss reduction strategy, a lot of the sustainable ag or research education program, master gardeners. We just have a lot of different things here under the tent that people can sort of see what we do in terms of the land grant mission for teaching, research, and extension.
Yeah, NLRS, or nutrient loss reduction strategy, dealing with water and how farmers and others can manage nutrients that are coming onto their properties and sometimes leaving their properties. The Master Naturalist program is the fantastic program, and the horticulture folks are across the board. They're just the cream of the crop, and everybody wants to talk with them.
I tell you, I really hope those of you listening today can come in, particularly the Hort team. They really, they're working right now putting together lots of different plant choices that'll be having some different species here for people to see if there are examples here in a garden, so to speak. Once you come in the tent and go left, you'll see some of the display area where you'll find the master gardeners and the Hort team putting together some of the different plant species that people can use as homeowners across the state.
Travis, thank you much, and I look forward to the 3-day event coming up Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
It's going to be great. Looking forward to it, Todd. Thank you for having me.
Indeed. Travis Burke is part of the leadership at University of Illinois Extension. He'll be here. I'll be here. You should be here, too. When you come in the main gate, look to your right, and you will see a giant orange sign that says College of Aces on the end of the tent. It's only about a block, maybe a block and a half away. Come visit us first. Come back off and check out the willag.org website, because we have the stage presence there and who you'll find on stage with us as well. We have some heavy hitters coming in all day long, each and every day. Again, that's at willag.org. Travis and I and the rest of Extension are looking forward to seeing you over the next 3 days. Mark Russo now joins us. He is at Everstream Analytics. Hi, Mark. Thank you for being with us on this day before the big show opens, indicated with the Farm Progress Show Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of this week. I'm sitting in the University of Illinois tent. The weather is as good as it possibly could be today to set up. Will it stay that way for the rest of the week?
Yes, Todd. With the pattern here for this week, some of the cooler temperatures that have worked their way into the Midwest, they're going to be in place all of this week. So an unseasonably cool pattern, nothing extreme, nothing from a freeze threat standpoint out there, but unseasonably cool for this latter portion of August. Also, this drier pattern that has evolved here recently does look to continue through this week. There will be some minor rain activity coming up later on Thursday, maybe into Friday in the central and eastern belt, but all in all, it's a drier than normal pattern in place across the Corn Belt this week.
What do our daytime highs look like across the Midwest and the overnight lows?
Yeah, from a maximum temperature standpoint, highs will generally be in the 70s this week across the Midwest. And from a minimum temperature standpoint, those morning lows will be in the 50s, even some upper 40s, such as what we saw this morning across the upper Midwest.
I believe I know the answer to this question, but is there any correlation between early cool temperatures and early frost or freezes?
No correlation here, Todd. As you probably expected, it's just more circumstance, the way that the upper level pattern across the whole northern hemisphere here recently is just driving in this cooler weather. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's any harbinger of things to come here later in September or October.
As we closed out the week last Friday, I believe that there were rains scheduled to come into the southwest and parts of the Kansas and Texas, Oklahoma, maybe Colorado areas. Is that the case?
Yes. Plains Hard Red Belt saw significant rainfall over the weekend, and that is the start of an extended period of wet weather in the plains. And with this, we call it preseason rain activity, that will increase topsoil moisture across the region and may even increase subsoil moisture. Again, very timely here as we begin to approach the new upcoming winter wheat planting season in the plains.
In Europe, what are you watching today?
Well, we're watching an increase in rainfall with more normal rainfall expected across all but southeast Europe over the next couple of weeks. Now, here recently, much of Europe has again turned unseasonably dry and hot. That continues in southeast Europe as we go through the next 2 weeks. But for the remainder of Europe, with more active conditions and also variable temperatures, that's going to help stabilize summer crops and also at least provide a little boost in soil moisture for upcoming winter crop planting.
And finally, we have not yet discussed Brazil and Argentina weather for their planting season coming up. Brazil either starts in the next week or in the next 2.5 weeks. It's not clear to me just yet whether that will be the case. I'm wondering how you feel their planting season, particularly in Mato Grosso, might go for their first crop soybeans.
Yeah, well, a lot of focus is on whether there will be a timely start to the rainy season across Mato Grosso and center west Brazil coming up during the second half of October. That is a normal window of the onset of the rainy season, and from what we see right now, it does look like a timely start here. With rains across Mato Grosso, which would ultimately lead to initiation of planting in a timely manner across that area.
Hey, thank you much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Todd.
That, of course, is Mark Russo. He is with Everstream Analytics. Joined us on this Monday edition of the Closing Market Report from Illinois Public Media. Don't forget to come and visit us in the University of Illinois tent over the next 3 days. When you come in the main gates of the Farm Progress Show in Decatur, just turn to your right. You'll see a great big orange banner that says College of Aces on it. A fantastic week, and we look forward to having you there in the University of Illinois tent. The show hours, by the way, are from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and you can find out what's going on the stage on our website at willag.org, willag.org. I'm U of I Extension's Todd Gleason.